Um, but crypto, you know, I think we all have the fuck if I would have just, right? And
Yeah.
I've got a good amount of those. I've never been really wrecked, but I got a good amount of if I only, you know, a lot would be different, right? So back in 2011, one of the guys that I was, you know, my drinking buddies, was telling me about mining, and I'm like, okay. And you're paying, you know, you're building your computer for $3 grand ish, and you're paying 15 extra bucks a month in electricity, but you're making like $4 a month. Like, that doesn't sound like you're going to hit ROI anytime soon, right?
Yeah.
But the way he was explaining it to me, and even being in IT, it didn't dawn on me exactly what it was. My takeaway was, we've all seen Office Space, right?
Hopefully.
My takeaway
go
was,
watch that too.
Right. My takeaway was, we're just sniffing the internet for these little fractions of a penny that we're stealing, kind of thing. You know, the whole scam of Office Space, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, at that point in my life, I was still drinking, still partying, getting in trouble, spending money I shouldn't have, you know, shouldn't have. So $3 grand, I'm like, for that, no, I'm not gonna do it. It's not even like I made a full decision to do it. It was just, because it didn't compute to me.
Didn't click.
Yeah, it didn't. And I was like,
and when was that again?
That was 2011.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You heard about it pretty early.
Yeah, real early. And my buddy who had told me about it, he wound up with 30 Bitcoin. And I ran into him like 5 years later, and I'm like, what'd you do? Or 2018, 2019. So yeah, it was like 7 years later. Right when it hit 19 or something like that. And he was like, I sold it at 1,000. I was like, oh,
classic.
man. But he was living in Thailand at the time, he was getting unemployment from Sirius XM, but living in Thailand. Right. So like, and he had his 30 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, I think that happens to, I mean, so many people. I think I would say 99% of people sold, you know, it went to 30, they sold it because they bought it for 2. It went to 200, you know, they sold it because they bought it at 50. You know, it just keeps happening. This escalating ladder just keeps going up, down. And he's not alone. Like, there's nothing. I know you look back, you know, you look into it like, oh, I wish I would have did that. I wish I would have did this. It's like, oh, if I would only had that chance, you would have did the same thing everyone else, probably. Unless, you know, you see a product like HEX, for example, and you like buy into the system, and you know, if you sell, you're going to lose money in the future. More than likely, if you sell now, you're going to give up some gains. So you better be willing to make that trade-off.